In India, digitalization is moving aggressively forward with the launch of 5G services across major cities. It's been an incredible decade that has seen hundreds of millions of citizens get online, and everything from digital payments to social media has been booming. Under this government, however, the growth has been commensurate with more online censorship. The latest development will see the establishment of a committee to make decisions about disputed online posts. DW's Adil Bhatt reports on the digital environment in the country.
Start.
The Singhs in Delhi are one of India's most followed social media influencer families.
So guys, finally
they are among the new influencers who have become an internet sensation overnight because of India's digital revolution. Every week, this family produces dozens of videos on YouTube and Instagram, ranging from short films to dance videos. Ramneek Singh, the head of the family, says for them, content is everything.
Earlier, without internet, without this reach, there were no opportunities for people like us who are social media influencers. We are earning a lot of money as well, There's a huge economic impact on our lives. And all this again is happening. Why? Because of the internet.
India's digital footprint has tripled in less than a decade. 60% of Indians now have access to the internet. This expansion has changed the lives of millions of people across the country.
To expand its digital footprints, the Indian government launched the Digital India program in 2015. The main aim of this ambitious program is to connect more people online from the remote areas and to transform the country into digitally empowered society.
In the bustling markets of Delhi, one of the most visible changes is the transition to digital payments. From tea stall owners to big businesses, digital payments have become their new mode of transaction. Deepak Kumar has been running this tea stall for several years. In recent months, he has noticed a clear shift among customers who prefer digital payments over cash.
The majority of customers I get these days want to pay online. No one carries cash. Digital payments also make it quick and easy for us.
But this massive expansion of India's digital space comes with its own setbacks. The country has the highest number of internet shutdowns imposed by state and central governments. Last year, the internet service was cut in India 106 times. And so far this year, 93 shutdowns have taken place. There are also other impediments like disinformation and growing censorship, which critics say are rampant since the Hindu nationalist government came to power in 2014. For the Internet Freedom Foundation, an organization that defends online freedom, the situation in India is a cause of concern.
I think India's rising instances of internet shutdowns fits into a larger trend towards eroding democratic ideals. Online censorship in particular in India is a highly opaque process. If your speech or your website or your YouTube video gets taken down by the government, you are never told why this happened. As a result, you never have an opportunity to contest this.
With a powerful blend of government initiatives to improve and expand connectivity, India's digital revolution is gathering pace. However, it comes with the fear of increasing censorship and a slide towards digital authoritarianism.
Idika Sharma Punit is South Asia editor of restofworld.com, a newsroom that covers technology in the global south. I spoke to her earlier. She started by explaining the dynamics of how so many aspects of Indian life are going online, all while the Indian government regularly censors the internet.
Well, India right now is at a very strange crossroads where digitization and internet adoption is at its peak compared to any time in the past. There are, it is the largest market for Facebook, for WhatsApp. It is one of the largest markets for Instagram, for instance. But at the same time, there is little to no regulation in certain spaces, and there are the policy making in that sense is still catching up, which leaves a lot of room for things to go in wrong directions. There are risks. For instance, to give you an example, data protection is a big question in India because we do not have very clear guidelines on it, and the government has been working for some time to come up with clear data protection regulations. But in the absence of that, the millions of Indians who use the internet, who use social media on a daily basis, are left vulnerable to some extent. To your question about censoring, again, that stems from the policies, because a lot of policies are still being made as we go. There's no clarity, so there is room for people to manipulate or to use them to their advantage.
Do you think at some point that this is going to impact the trajectory of the Indian tech boom if the government oversteps in terms of its censorship or control, that you see that tech boom slowing down?
This is a question, it's a very interesting question. I have been discussing it with experts a lot lately. The question, I suppose, is that there might be a difference in way Indian youth interacts with the internet, but the growth of an internet in India, or growth of technology, the startup boom, may not really slow down, simply because India has one of the youngest populations in the world. A large chunk of our citizens are under the age of 30, which means they want to be on the internet, they want to use internet in different ways. So the penetration in that sense will continue to grow. People will keep aspiring to be entrepreneurs, but yes, the way in which they use it, the way they interact with technology, the startups, the kind of startups that come out, there might be some impact of policies or the way the governments in states and center have been behaving. They might impact that.
And this is a challenge for governments around the world. I mean, the European Union, the United States are grappling with the same challenges in terms of regulating tech companies and also how they manage that online content. What's your biggest criticism of India's approach here so far?
I feel that, one thing that we have really lagged is we have not been proactive in policy making. So, any of the issues to do with whether it is data privacy or to do with free speech on the internet that you see in recent years coming out of India, I believe those would be solved if the government, if the policymakers had been proactive in framing policies that keep pace with the technological development and innovation that's been having. A lot of the laws in India are still archaic. They are like 100 years old, and the world has changed since then. And if we keep fighting battles about internet privacy and about free speech on the web with those same archaic laws, we will never have clarity on what's right, what's wrong. What I see in EU, for instance, is that there are policies that many countries have been making which keep pace with the reality of today. And I feel that is one thing that India will really benefit from if we took stern, quick decisions about policies, which will safeguard the citizens also, not just not just the community that is raising concerns against, say, a government or a political party, but having clear policies will also safeguard citizens in India from, in the technology world. That person.
Irika Sharma Punit, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.